Our first story takes us to a secluded cabin deep in the forests of Oregon. Sarah and Mike, a young couple from Los Angeles, were looking for a peaceful getaway to escape their stressful city life. They found an Airbnb listing for a charming rustic cabin that promised tranquility and a break from the hustle and bustle. The host had excellent reviews, and the price was unbeatable. They arrived at the cabin on a Friday afternoon, greeted by the serene sounds of nature. The cabin itself was picturesque, with a wooden porch and large windows that let in the soft, golden light. Everything seemed perfect until night fell. As they settled in for the night, strange things began to happen. It started with the faint sound of footsteps on the wooden porch. Mike dismissed it as an animal, but Sarah couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. Then came the whispers, soft, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to come from the walls themselves. Mike, ever the skeptic, decided to explore. Armed with a flashlight, he stepped out into the pitch-black night. The forest was eerily silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves. As he scanned the perimeter, the flashlight flickered, and he caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure standing at the edge of the woods. Before he could react, the figure disappeared. Back inside, Sarah was growing increasingly paranoid. She turned on the TV to distract herself, but the screen only displayed static. Suddenly the lights went out, plunging the cabin into darkness. Mike rushed back in, but the door slammed shut behind him as if by an unseen force. Trapped and terrified, they heard a chilling scream from outside, followed by a loud banging on the door. The whispers grew louder, filling the room with an oppressive presence. In a desperate attempt to escape, they broke a window and climbed out, running to their car. As they sped away, Sarah looked back and saw the shadowy figure standing on the porch, its eyes glowing with a sinister light. They never spoke of that night again, but the terror lingered. The cabin remains listed on Airbnb, a seemingly perfect getaway with a dark supernatural secret. Our second story involves a group of friends who decided to spend a weekend at a remote Airbnb house in the countryside. Alex, Jake, and Emily had planned the trip for months, eager to escape their routine and enjoy some relaxation. The house was large, old, and full of character, perfect for their retreat. Their host, Mr. Harlan, was an eccentric old man with a peculiar charm. He greeted them warmly, giving them a tour of the house and its history. He mentioned that the house had been in his family for generations and was rumored to be haunted. The friends laughed it off, thinking it was just a local legend to add to the house's charm. The first night was uneventful, but things took a dark turn on the second night. Emily woke up to the sound of someone crying. She followed the sound to the basement door, which was slightly ajar. Curiosity got the better of her, and she ventured down the creaky stairs. In the dim light, she saw a figure standing in the corner, its back turned to her. As she approached, the figure slowly turned around, revealing a gaunt face with hollow eyes. Emily screamed and ran back upstairs, slamming the door behind her. Alex and Jake, awakened by her screams, tried to calm her down. She told them what she saw, but they were skeptical, thinking it was just a nightmare. However, strange occurrences began to plague the house. Objects moved on their own, doors creaked open, and the air grew cold and heavy. Desperate for answers, they decided to confront Mr. Harlan. But when they knocked on his door, there was no answer. They entered his room only to find it empty and covered in dust, as if it hadn't been occupied for years. A chilling realization hit them. Their host had been a ghost all along. Panicking, they packed their bags in a frenzy, but leaving the house wasn't as simple as it seemed. Doors that were previously open slammed shut, windows that were intact shattered, sending glass shards flying. The air grew thick with an oppressive energy, making it hard to breathe. Just as they managed to reach the front door, a powerful force threw them back into the living room. It was as if the house had become sentient, determined to keep them within its cursed walls. In a last, desperate attempt, they huddled together and recited prayers, hoping to break whatever hold the entity had on them. Suddenly, the house fell silent. The oppressive energy lifted, and the front door creaked open by itself. They wasted no time in bolting out of the house, not daring to look back. They drove away as fast as they could, the eerie silhouette of the house fading into the distance. The experience left them shaken to their cores, the line between reality and the supernatural forever blurred. They never spoke of that night again, but the memory of the cryptic host and the malevolent house lingered. The Airbnb listing remains active, with new guests reporting similar encounters, unaware of the true horrors that lie within. Watch out for such Airbnb when you go and book your next one. Our third story is about a young woman named Lisa, who booked an Airbnb apartment for a work trip in a small town. The apartment was modern and well furnished, with all the amenities she needed for a comfortable stay. The host, a man named David, seemed friendly and accommodating. Everything was fine until Lisa started noticing odd things. She felt like she was being watched, even when she was alone in the apartment. The feeling was unsettling, but she brushed it off as paranoia. One night, while she was watching a horror movie to unwind, she noticed a tiny red light blinking from the corner of the living room. Upon closer inspection, she found a hidden camera. Panicked, she searched the entire apartment and discovered multiple cameras concealed in various places: the bedroom, bathroom, and even the kitchen. Horrified, she contacted Airbnb and the local authorities. David was arrested, and it was revealed that he had been secretly filming his guests for years, uploading the footage to the dark web. Lisa was traumatized by the invasion of her privacy, her sense of security shattered. Despite the arrest, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She moved to a new city, but the paranoia followed her. Every shadow, every flicker of light made her heart race. The trauma of that experience left a permanent scar, a constant reminder of the hidden dangers lurking in seemingly safe places. The apartment was removed from Airbnb, but the story serves as a chilling warning. Hidden cameras are a real threat, turning a peaceful stay into a horrifying invasion of privacy. Lisa's story is a stark reminder to always be vigilant, even in the comfort of a rented home. But Lisa's ordeal didn't end with the arrest of David. Despite moving to a new city, her paranoia deepened. She began to notice small, almost imperceptible changes in her new apartment. Objects would be slightly out of place, lights would flicker without reason, and she constantly felt a cold, unsettling presence. One night, while lying in bed, Lisa heard a soft rustling sound coming from the closet. Summoning her courage, she approached the closet door, her heart pounding. She flung the door open only to find it empty. Breathing a sigh of relief, she turned to go back to bed, but was stopped by a cold, sinister whisper right behind her ear. "I see you." Terrified, Lisa spun around but saw nothing. She realized that the nightmare she thought she had escaped was far from over. Desperate, she called the authorities again, but they found no evidence of any surveillance devices in her new apartment. Lisa's mental state deteriorated. She began to see David's face in every crowd, hear his voice in every whisper, and feel his presence in every shadow. Her once vibrant life turned into a waking nightmare, haunted by the fear that she was never truly alone. In a final act of desperation, Lisa moved to a remote location, cutting off all ties to her previous life. But the paranoia followed her, a relentless reminder of the horrors she endured. The trauma had etched itself deep into her psyche, a scar that would never heal. Lisa's story is not just a tale of invasion of privacy, it's a harrowing account of how one sinister act can destroy a life. Her experience serves as a chilling warning of the hidden dangers that lurk in the most unsuspecting places, forever changing the way we view the safety of our own homes.